There was a time when anything put out by Marvel Studios was considered marvelous by the media, but apparently that time has now passed. Secret Invasion is out, and, well, it is down and out. The media is kicking this thing to the curb, then stomping on it. They don't like it. But I'm here to say, well, maybe there's more to this. Does the media simply not like it? Or are they turning against Disney at large? All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. What a joy and an honor it is to deliver another video to you, to share my time with you. Greatly appreciated that you're here. Let's dive straight in. This out of an article from Tech Radar via Yahoo Live. Marvel fans are trashing Secret Invasion's final episode, and it deserves it. This by Tom Power. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because, well, you all may recall that in the past, if Disney put out something that fans didn't like, the media did not react the way we're seeing right now. In fact, what the media would do is they would slime the fans, right? You remember the famous scene from Ghostbusters where Peter Venkman says, "He slimed me, Ray." Well, that's how fans would be treated by the media. If fans came out and said, "Oh, I don't like this thing that Disney made," they would be called all sorts of terrible names. Conspiracies would arise in the media about foreign nations being involved and all sorts of zaniness. Now, however, the media is joining in with the chorus of the fans. Why is that? Let's read the article and then I'll give my thoughts on it. It's official. Secret Invasion's finale is the worst rated Marvel Cinematic Universe, also known as the MCU, TV episode of all time. Per review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, Secret Invasion's episode 6 has a horrendous 13% rating, and that means it's far and away the lowest rated MCU episode ever. Admittedly, that's only based on 8 reviews from critics. Okay, so that's where I want to go to, folks. Number 1, they're only looking at the critics, not the actual audience score. Number 2, there's only 8 reviews from critics. Number 3, so that means that this article was written specifically to highlight a very low sample size and make fun of Secret Invasion, or at least draw a negative light to it. Remember that as we continue. And even though Marvel Phase 5 project is far from our favorite Marvel TV show, read our Secret Invasion review for more on why that's the case. It's not been a total disaster. Per Rotten Tomatoes, Secret Invasion was deemed good enough by general audiences to earn a 62% overall rating. Now, that is also another cute little trick by the author to say, it's not a total disaster. Here, let me give you a statistic that shows it's a total disaster. Sure, that makes it the worst rated MCU TV series of all time, but that's nothing compared to the non-MCU show Inhumans. Yeah, you know what? This person is just vicious. Tom Power, you are an assassin, sir. Yes, comparing it to Inhumans, which originally aired on U.S. Network, ABC, and earned a terrible overall audience score of 43%. So well played, Tom. Say that it's not a disaster, then give every reason in the world that it's a disaster, and then compare it to an utter and total disaster that is infamously bad. Well played. So what is all this all about? Why are they out for blood when it comes to Secret Invasion? Well, folks, I don't think the media has suddenly turned fully honest on us. I think that what's really happening here is that they're in bed with the idea of taking down Disney a peg or two because of Bob Iger and what he's been saying, i.e. the SAG-AFTRA strike. Hollywood's writers and the actors are currently on strike. Of course, WGA included in that. So the media has decided that for the moment being, they're going to be a little bit more, shall we say, in line with everyone else in the world, because that's to the detriment of Disney. Now, this is from the direct by Savannah Sanders. Secret Invasion director shares surprising reaction to bad reviews. And yes, I think it is surprising to them that they're being put into the public light, right? Remember, there have been terrible reviews in the past, but usually the way this plays out is when the terrible reviews come, Rotten Tomatoes changes its policies and fixes it so that it's much more difficult to do those again. In this case, though, they're out and exposed and vulnerable, and it's putting these people in places they're not accustomed to. Following the conclusion of Secret Invasion on Disney+, the MCU director shared his own thoughts about the series' poor reviews. From the outset, Secret Invasion had the makings of a home run thanks to its fascinating premise and an all-star cast. And yes, they destroyed that all-star cast. Unfortunately, the 6-episode season, which centered on Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury and helmed by director Ali Salim, left audiences both befuddled and disappointed, a fact well illustrated by the finale's record low Rotten Tomato score. It also needs to be said, folks, that this series had 6 episodes. It also has a $215 million budget, which puts it on par with the combined budgets of Barbie and Oppenheimer. Let me say it again. If you remember anything from this video, there's what you need to remember. $215 million budget, that means it costs as much as Barbie and Oppenheimer combined. Do you think Disney got a proper return on investment? I think not. Marvel director reacts to Secret Invasion reviews. Here's what it says. He said, this is the director of the series, "Oh, I don't read reviews." Of course not. Who cares about what the people think? With all due respect, for me, I view all the storytelling work I do as a dialogue with an audience. When the show is finished and put up on the screen, that's my half of the dialogue. Oh, this is great. And the audience then starts their half of the response to it. I think that's valuable, but I don't know. I don't know how to answer the question. Folks, if you tell somebody a story in your conversation with them, right? If you dialogue with a friend of yours and they give you a look that says that you're disgusting or stupid or they really didn't like what you had to say, probably a good idea to take note of what they're telling you. Probably not a great idea in any kind of relationship you've ever had, whether it's with one person or in this case, millions of people, to tell somebody something and then be like, yeah, it's a dialogue, but I don't really listen to the rest of the dialogue. I sort of walk away. I don't stick around to see what they have to say. Yeah, the disrespect here, the hubris. It's amazing. It's fantastic. Honestly, this thing should be put on better display. Oh, I don't read reviews with all due respect. For me, I view the storytelling work as I do dialogue with an audience. I just don't listen back in the dialogue. It's so great. But here's the thing. And we did this actually on the Pro Lounge exclusive member live stream yesterday. If you're watching this video at the time of release, yesterday, Saturday in the evening, we did a member exclusive. And we went over just how bad this gets. You see, it goes beyond. Not only is Secret Invasion the worst Disney Plus MCU show ever, not only does it oust Miss Marvel from that spot, but this director, this writer behind it, he was even told by Marvel not to read the comics that the story is based on. So if you're wondering, how did it go so far, so wrong? How did it do this? How could it possibly be this bad? Marvel told him don't read the comics. Now, we know that because that's what he said verbatim, word for word, when he appeared with our bestie, Grace Randolph, on Beyond the Trailer. We can't play that video for reasons that, well, she might not like it if we did. But a tweet with that specific clip of him saying it is in the video description. Here's what we had to say on the members live stream last night. All right, so essentially this tweet by B. Batutiaco 9377 says, "This is no different than Kathleen Kennedy saying that she owes Star Wars fans nothing. What is with Disney hiring people who don't care about the fan base yet, want the fan base to partake in their garbage?" That's Ali Salem, the director for all 6 episodes of Secret Invasion, the series which nobody has watched, and so it remains a secret. Now, this is also the series where Nick Fury is making out with Skrulls. It's a beautiful thing. If you're into that sort of thing, not many people are, probably nobody. But if you were, it would be beautiful. This is an article out of Inverse by Davis Johnston. Secret Invasion proves Marvel can't even follow its own good advice. It's a bad sign when She-Hulk calls you out. It says the results are in. Secret Invasion is the lowest rated MCU show on Rotten Tomatoes. That's really saying something at this point. And it's easy to see why. Though initial press reviews had a hopeful view of the series' future, those were only based on the first 2 episodes. And the other 4, what was supposed to be an exciting conspiracy thriller, became a series that couldn't stop getting in its own way. And folks, let me just tell you, the first 2 episodes were bad. So if it has gotten worse, then may God have mercy on this series' soul. So what went wrong? The culprit is an incredibly narrow scope that not only ignored where the MCU can go from here, but even overlooked what it's already said. The main issue with Secret Invasion story. The comic run that loosely inspired it packed a wallop with huge reveals as heroes we've known for years were unmasked as Skrulls. The Disney Plus series had just one such hero, James Rhodes, a.k.a. War Machine, a secondary Avenger, now working in government. So, yes, this is a complete and utter failure, and it goes down again as another reason that nobody is interested in the Marvels. The Miss Marvel show is now being put onto ABC to try to generate some kind of enthusiasm. At the same time, this show will now be moved to Hulu to try to generate some kind of enthusiasm because nobody watched it on Disney Plus, and I suspect that it doesn't matter if these shows are on ABC or Hulu or whatnot. I don't think anybody cares. And I think that portends very badly for Disney and for the Marvels coming up in November. Martin, what do you think about Secret Invasion? Were you excited to hear that Nick Fury was going to be making out with something that looks like a green space goblin?
You know what? That one caught me by surprise, I got to say. And,
it wasn't on your bingo card, eh?
No, Disney doesn't really surprise me much anymore, but yeah, that one caught me flat-footed.
Hughes, did you watch this series at all?
Because I sure did not.
Yeah, nobody did. Nobody did. Hughes, what do you think Marvel's got to do to get themselves back on the right track, given just how badly this is performed? Think about it, Hughes. Think about it, Martin. This is a show that is coming at a time when Disney has way, way, way more subscribers than they had when they launched WandaVision, when they launched Loki, when they had all those original shows. This one supposedly has way more subscribers, yet it has the worst reviews and the second worst ratings. How can they get this fixed?
Well, it's going to take some things that may seem impossible, but actually they are able to do this. First and foremost, by getting rid of Kevin Feige and everything.
They got to get rid of Pete Docter at Pixar, Kathleen Kennedy at Lucasfilm, and Kevin Feige over at Marvel. Sounds like things are going splendidly at House of Mouse.
It's easier to get rid of Kevin Feige from Marvel Studios than it is to get rid of Kathleen Kennedy. Okay, but other than that, he's actually definitely replaceable. But the fact of the matter is, Bob Iger doesn't want to replace him with somebody else who he would actually think will be able to do a better job with him. When I say that, what I mean is that, someone who's actually willing to go continue with the narrative and do a better job at that. Okay. And not to mention getting rid of others who are also, especially those who are supportive of Kevin Feige. Because of the simple fact of the matter is, you're telling people who are directors, producers, so on and so forth, don't read the comics. What other way are you going to get them to go ahead and stay true, to make sure to stay true to the characters as well as stories? Or is that just actually stuff from pre-Avengers Endgame? Because there's times where during those first three phases, they stuck to the comics, but then again, they took it off into a different direction. And then they started going even further to the point where they started taking it to a different direction. Because remember, Marvel Studios, which is under Disney and stuff, they're continuing with the narrative. And who wants that narrative to continue? Bob Iger. Okay, plain and simple. Bob Iger wants to go ahead and continue with the narrative, so that way he can only stay good with the Hollywood elites, as well as do better with the different investment firms that's actually paying Disney on the move, paying Disney as a company. Because the fact that even though he owns majority of the stake of Disney, he doesn't want to pay for it himself. No. He wants more investors to go ahead and chime in. But the thing is, just like Vanguard, we're going to see many more groups that's investing in this company going to go ahead and stray away from that, which has led to cause the downfall of Disney. Okay, and we all know what that stuff is.
All right, folks, that is a wrap for today. But what you need to know is, of course, this thing cost a lot. It cost as much as Barbenheimer. Not the same results coming back, though, to Disney. And then on top of that as well, the media are out for Disney in a way that they have not been doing in many, many, many years, ever since Disney became the behemoth that was unable to be assailed by any kind of criticism. Well, the media has played right along. Now that has changed. I have a feeling it's due to the WGA and SAG-AFTRA strike. But we shall see how long this continues. And can Bob Iger get things fixed when it comes to the earnings call? I think he's got a lot to answer for. Fires all over the company. All right, folks, if you have not yet checked out www.thatparkplace.com, make sure you're doing so. It is now your home for many of your favorite content creators on YouTube. We're talking about Lorena Creole, Culture Casino, Fat Steven, and many, many more. Yours truly included. And that comes along with those same great articles you're accustomed to. And yes, we do plan to release a very significant article in the next 24 hours via Jonas J. Campbell, as well as following up. We think this is a story coming out tomorrow that is as big as Reimagine Tomorrow. That's the big scoop. That's what we're doing. We don't know what's going to happen when we release that, but folks, we've got a big one. It's on the way. You do not want to miss it. We will see you tomorrow. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
Say it ain't so. This just in. Disney lost money on another movie. Why, that can't be. I thought that John Lasseter fella over at Pixar was cranking out the latest hits, and Marvel was unstoppable, and Disney princesses were a thing, and Star Wars was a multi-billion-dollar money-making franchise.
I overheard you talking about Disney, and wanted to let you know you're really behind the ball. If you were getting great articles from thatparkplace.com and subscribe to WDW Pro's YouTube channel, you'd actually be ahead of the culture curve and have entertainment explained.